Hello there and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks at Ungainly Titan. And a warm welcome to new subscribers. It looks like my putting the tank talks up on the Tank Academy forum has been a success, at least in terms of my channel. I've gotten a lot more viewers than I normally get, and I've managed to get a few subscribers out of it, and you're very, very welcome, and I really hope to live up to your expectations and provide you with informative and entertaining World of Tanks content. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, either in this or in the other videos. So anyway, let's get back to the game in hand. Westfield once again, Westfield in the winter form, and I'm in the Craft Panther. Now, I'm doing a bit of scouting. Not exactly the best tank for it. Now, I think you'd probably make a decent enough scout with a sufficiently skilled crew. However, I don't have anything other than 6th Sense running on this tank at the moment. I have optics, I think, but view range isn't exactly anything to write home about, and my detection range and my view range are roughly the same. In fact, my detection, I can be detected, I think, from slightly further away than I can actually see the enemy tanks, which is not optimal for scouting. There's a bush after falling over there, and we can see a VK3001D. But we don't see him in time to put a round into him. We do, however, somebody manages to hit him for something. Allies are finally beginning to appear in the position and the location, so I'm going to go right back, as far back as I can, and then slip in here along the inline, and hopefully I won't be spotted, or if I am, I'll be behind the high ground before anyone can do anything about it. And I do get spotted just at the very end there, but I'm behind the high ground. Now I should, if I lose the 6th Sense, be able to pick up that's artillery, I think, that's causing the detected. I should be able to pick up or acquire some of these targets from the cover here, but I have to be careful because the cover isn't all encompassing. So somebody's been picked up, but I'm not picking up anybody with him, and there's more than one there. And as I push forward, you can see what I mean by my detected. My 6th Sense went off, but I hadn't actually spotted anyone. Now, in hindsight, I'd probably been better off I drove forward and to the left rather than reversing there and taking the hit from the SU-100Y. My allies, however, have joined me, and we have a medium tank that has managed to slip in along the edge of the valley and is right up at the base of the hill where the enemy tanks are, and he's getting on the spotting now. We have a heavy tank at the bottom of the valley, and I have more heavy tanks coming around the corner to my right, so it's a very aggressive push. It's actually quite unusual to see such an aggressive push from this side of the map. Normally people this side of the map, they tend to go hold down because that is very open ground, and quite frequently if you're crossing that open ground, you take fire from the village around where the cap circle is. However, none of the enemy tanks seem to have gone near the cap circle. They've just gone very aggressively along the AB rows, and they're coming down the 1-2 line, which is actually a smart move, basic tactically. It gives them a very strong position if they can make use of it afterwards. But we're taking advantage of the situation here, and we've done quite a bit of damage. And I think now there's just one tank left up there, and it's time to push up. We're one tank up, but it's nothing major at the moment. And the enemy have won the northwestern side, which gives them a very strong advantage. Depending on how they use that position, they actually could still dominate this game, despite being 2 tanks down at the moment. Now they have one tank that just hasn't left the spawn area. There's always one. And I really didn't mean to push the Cromwell out of cover there. I wasn't paying attention to what was in front of me, so to speak. And I didn't expect him to stop in the bush either, which just goes to show that it's what you expect isn't what other people are thinking of doing. Now, there wasn't anybody else down here beside the M6, so I think actually it didn't cause any harm, so I suppose that's okay. There was nobody else. Yeah, the M6 is the only enemy tank here, really. So it looks like the rest of the enemy team pushed into the north. Now they're coming down the far side of the village towards the centre. And this, I think, is their big tactical mistake. If some of those tanks had gone along the northern edge of the village or back up into the hills to catch us when we crested the top, to support our tanks in the village, they would actually be in a very dominant position. But by fighting in the village, they're actually at a disadvantage, because we're the ones now that are shooting into them from different directions. So they've no effective cover, and they've nobody covering their flanks. I can get up here, pop off a few shots, and if he points the gun at me, I can go up down again. We've tanks coming in along the northern edge of the village, and we've tanks coming in along the southern side of the village. And this is what I mean by nothing protecting their flanks. If the enemy tanks had actually stayed further north and ignored the cap circle and let us come to them, they would have inflicted very heavy casualties on us, because we would have had to come at them across open ground with already wounded tanks, and they would have the advantage. They could use the ridge lines, and they know where we were, and we could only come at them sort of in one direction at a time, because it's unlikely we would be able to coordinate across a wide front and come at them all at once from different directions. However, by pushing forward into the village, they gave up the ability to see us coming, and they made it a lot easier for us to come at them all at once in the village. So the VK is behind me now, which is one of the reasons I just back up into him. It minimises the amount of tank that you can shoot at. And I'm taking fire from across the valley. There's one hit there. It bounced, but it came from across the valley, so I can't stop. I can't afford to stop. I have to keep moving and hope this guy doesn't track me or draw a decent bead on my engine as I'm coming down. He's knocked a good few hits out of me, and thought I'd be able to tuck in here behind the rocks and just spot him for my allies, but he's coming for me. He's determined to take me out of the game, and he's going for the ram. So we back off, he misses, I bounce that shot, and as he's pulling away then I finish him off. So there's only one enemy tank remaining. And where is he? So I circle back around. Now initially I thought that the medium tank was surely up here with him. I mean, where else would he be? The two of them would stick together? No. And the medium tank would have been faster, so he'd have been in a more advanced position. So I was half expecting to be shot as soon as I crest the ridge here, because there's a good chance that most mediums would have a better view range than me. Now we have a guy in the cap circle, so there's pressure now on the enemy tank if he wants to win. And it is, depending on the health and the type of medium, I'm not too sure what it is, but he has he might have a fighting chance, depending on what tank it is. So I come up here and I don't see anything, and more to the point, nothing sees me. So I don't think he's up here. But we're kind of committed now. We have tanks down around our spawn area, and they've been prowling around there, so I think he's not there. So if he's not there and he's not in front of me, he's probably up in the northwestern side of the map, or the western side of the map, or possibly even the northern side of the map. But I can only cover one direction and search in one area. So I'm going to push forward down this way now. I really doubt if he's in front of me at this point in time, but when I'm here I might as well check. Simply because there was a heavy tank of ours at the end of the viaduct here around this location until quite recently. And if he didn't spot him before he crossed the viaduct, then I would have spotted him, I think. Again, depending on what type of tank he was and what his stealth ratings are. So I come down to this corner of the map. Now we have 2 guys in the cap circle, so we should be closing out the cap circle pretty rapidly. I've come well into the corner here, so he's definitely not down at this corner. The light tank would probably do more good if he had taken a slightly different route rather than just following me around. So yeah, it looks like he's not going to bother trying to intervene, and he wasn't around this side of the map. So, capped out, victory, base captured, 16 damaging ribbons, pretty good. So, 77,000, over 4,000 experience, 2,000 damage, 2nd class mastery, bunch of operation points, so we came 3 by experience. So that's a pretty decent result. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week.